Welcome to the third quarter, everybody.
What is this? What is going on right now?
I said, what the hell are you talking about?
What's my package look like? Yo! All right, welcome to the Third Quarter Warriors podcast. The Third Quarter Warriors are the best team ever, and we are the best podcast ever. Happy Monday, everybody. We're going to help you start your week out right because on today's episode, we dive into some JJ Redick beef, Jaylen Brown tweets, the haters corner, and a whole bunch of just debate. Today it's only me and King Vves because Ant is like trying to discover himself in Texas or something, and my brother Kenneth is doing something that I didn't expect, which is he's whitewater rafting randomly. So anyway, let's get into it.
Whitewater rafting? Like, I wonder, like, for real whitewater rafting? Like rapids or like just kind of in a boat?
I would imagine that like it's probably the type where you're like in a kayak and it's but like I feel like if it's called whitewater rafting, that means there has to be rapids because that's like what makes the water white. If it's not, then it's just you're rafting, you're water rafting.
Yeah, it's I would not. I did that like when I was like 12 or 13 with my friend. Like my family friends had a house in Colorado. They were really rich, and we did that once. And I don't ever want to do that again.
I used to do it all the time. Like my high school used to do like field studies, like to start the year. So we do something like a lot of I think like 2 times it was whitewater rafting. It was kind of fun just because like it was like the whole school like was there, but
Yeah,
yeah, not something I'm probably gonna do anytime soon.
I've heard too many horror stories.
Oh yeah, I hear people like getting their feet stuck in the rocks or something, and then the water just pushes them down. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
couldn't be me. I'm not for that.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's hop into the news. So one thing that was trending like a week ago was Jimmy Butler just randomly has like really long dreadlocks, and I don't know, like it looks kind of cool. It just looks weird because I like if you haven't seen someone that has dreadlocks and then randomly he has dreadlocks, it's like, oh, I just didn't expect to see that with Jimmy. But then I was thinking back and I was like, he maybe hasn't like actually cut his hair. Like, do you remember in the bubble when it was like really long, he like his facial hair looked terrible and he was like, I'm not grooming myself till after the bubble. I feel like he might have still not ever like actually cut his hair, and so like he just was low key growing it out the whole time.
I mean, so the thing about Jimmy Butler's hair is right now he actually has a weave. Like he has extensions.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
It's like it's just kind of funny, especially because he has like extensions with like the colored tips at the end.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why? Like, I don't know. I don't think the style suits his face either. It just looks kind of weird on him. Or maybe we're just not used to it yet. But like I look at it, I'm like, why did you do this? It looks kind of like I mean, there's nothing really wrong with this, but it just looks kind of feminine on him.
Yeah, I could actually see that. Like, it was just so weird. Like, I just saw a video, and I don't think I saw the caption at first, and I was like, oh, who's this? And I was like, that is not Jimmy Butler. And the first thing I thought was, like, he has a weave, and I was like, I don't know. I've never grown dreadlocks. Maybe you can, like, just, if your hair, like, is really thick, then you can just dread them out, like, after. I don't know, but I guess not.
Uzi, after he cut his dreads, he got, like, extensions for his braids and stuff, too. I'm pretty sure Drake also got extensions for his. Actually, he might not have, because there were so many memes about, like, when he had the beads on his hair, and it was like literally just nubs, and they were like, beads with zero hang is wild. I was like, this man does not care.
Yeah, he literally was putting decorations in his hair. It wasn't even like.
Yeah, I mean, now his hair's like actually long enough, but like when was it? He started doing it like 3 months ago, and it was like barely, just like barely.
Yeah. But that was just something wild that I saw on my timeline. I was like, we got to talk about this at some point because half of me thought that like he has a weave. But anyway, another thing that was popping like a week ago was Jaylen Brown just tweeting SMH when they tried to trade him for Kevin Durant. And I saw this and I was like, what are you complaining about? Like, they literally are thinking about trading you for like the best wing in the game and like possibly in a lot of people's books the best wing ever. He's like, oh, SMH, like unloyal organization. Like, no, we know it's a business, Jaylen, and like they're thinking about trading you for literal Kevin Durant. Like, I don't think you need to SMH that. Like, it was just
Yeah,
such a dumb tweet.
I think like it's almost an honor to be considered to be traded for Kevin Durant. And I'm a Kevin Durant hater. I think Kevin Durant's overrated. But like I do I guess see where he's coming from. Like they have a very young core that they've tried to keep together with him, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, and Jason Tatum. So it's like they've all been there. I think their whole careers. Did Marcus Smart get traded? He might have got traded there. I don't remember. But like I think all of them have been there their whole careers and they're like they might have developed that like brotherly bond at this point, but in the NBA, like the organization, they don't care about your bond. Like, look what they did to Pat Bev.
Yeah.
That dude was crying after he on a play-in game, and then they shipped him off like as soon as they could.
Oh my god. Yeah. I just don't. He's just tweeting SMH is just like saying like I can't believe you guys would trade me for Kevin
Yeah,
Durant. Like really, you can't believe that? Have you ever watched the NBA or followed the NBA? Most players get traded at some point in their
yeah.
career. Like you're not special. And also, did you see your performance in like the last couple of games of the finals where he was like just literally just throwing the ball to the defense like when he dribbles the ball?
That guy, like, he is the worst ball handling wing I've ever seen. Like, I don't and the thing is, he's not really like he has good dribble moves. He just cannot handle the ball when he drives. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe he can't handle contact. Maybe he doesn't trade for that, but like he just throws the ball away all the time. And I was like, watching this, I was like, what is going on? Like, why can't you just dribble?
Yeah, it's inexplicable. I really don't understand
Yeah.
when because he's so good, like he's so skilled, and then like
Yeah.
when you just lose the ball, I'm like, just slow down, like go like 10% slower, maybe.
It's like he's like a high school like AAU player who just like only practices like flashy stuff, and then when it gets to like fundamental stuff, he just like falls apart. Like he can't figure out how to like bank in a layup or anything. He only tries to finger roll stuff.
Yeah, that's
Stuff like
actually like
that.
he's trying to get recruited.
Yeah.
That's how he plays. That's funny. But yeah, and last thing on that, but then I do see where he's coming from, like because people are like, oh, like Celtics need to make a move or something. Like, no, like they've been a very good team, and they are literally like everyone's younger than me, like all their important players. So like they
Yeah.
literally just made the finals, took the Warriors to what, 5 or 6 games, and like played really well the entire playoffs. Like they came in second place. Like there's
Yeah.
not a team in the East that could beat them. So I mean, it's not like they had a failure. So I could see where Brown's like, bro, we could literally have a dynasty. If that's what he was saying, but if that's what he's saying, then say that. Don't just be like SMH, because in my eyes, it's just like, wow, you would trade me? I'm like, yeah, they would trade you.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could. I don't know. I don't know if they're like a Warriors level core, but they have like a lot of really good like young. Well, I guess now they're all like 24, 25, so that in the NBA terms that's not that young, but like entering their prime players. So I see like why he would be upset, but yeah, just like a random SMH like that's
Yeah,
like I don't know, that's like a middle school subtweet.
yeah, literally. I don't even think I feel like the Warriors were so good too because their chemistry was there. I don't even think the Celtics have great chemistry. Now that I think about it, they just have really good players.
Yeah,
They have somewhat chemistry. Like they have to have made it that far. But I don't think it's like when watching them is like watching a well-oiled machine. Just like it's like, oh no, Horford's hot, Tatum's hot, Brown's hot, and like one of them's gonna be hot each game. Like that's sort of what it was.
like I think they all kind of clash with each other, especially in the final minutes of games. I think Marcus Smart thinks he's much better on offense than he is and needs to stop shooting in the clutch. I
Yeah.
think like they don't they don't really have complementary play styles like the Warriors do. Like Clay Thompson is like just he's gonna run around, sit in the corners, and just shoot threes all day. Steph Curry can take you off the dribble and go anywhere. And Draymond can facilitate so Steph Curry can run around. Like they complement each other really well. But like the Celtics, they kind of don't like. you can't really think of one player that's like, oh yeah, this player works good with this guy because of this. Like they're all just like kind of ISO scorers. So it's like
Yeah.
you can get ISO scores anywhere really. Well, not as good as the ones they have, but like everyone's an ISO scorer in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree. Marcus Smart is the guy in the pickup game that like just wants to shoot the last shot every time. He's like, "Oh yeah, pass it into me, pass it into me." Like when it's game point, and you're like,
Uh,
"I'm just gonna get back on defense." But another thing that happened was Jerry West and JJ Redick had beef, which is a really weird beef to have. And like
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I knew Jerry West was still alive. Like I just assumed that he was just someone that like died a long time ago. No offense to you, Jerry
Yeah.
West. Don't come at
Like
me like you came at JJ Redick because he had a way better career than me.
like I kind of everyone associated with that era, like anyone that played when it was still black and white, I just kind of assumed that they not play
Yeah.
anymore. Like Pete Maravich, I don't know if that guy's alive, but if he is,
I think he
good
owns a
job,
team or
dude.
something.
Yeah, maybe he's still out there, but like I just kind of assume all those guys are have already passed. But I mean, the thing is, like Jerry West came at
Sorry, I just looked up Pete Maravich.
is he?
He passed away like 34 years ago. He was
Okay,
he was only
okay.
40 when he died.
Oh, wait, what? He could have still been in the NBA if he was like playing in this era.
Yeah, geez. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, the weirdest thing about that beef is like, Jerry West was like insulting JJ Redick's career. He's like, "You are the plumber's environment," but like JJ Redick was like a good role player. Like he was not. I mean, I guess if you compare eras, like yeah, the role players of them were actually plumbers and firemen, but like the role players of this era are a lot better than the role players of that era. So it's like his role players actually were like they
Yeah,
had other jobs, and that's not like a slight to them, like if you like that's just how things were back then, but like the competition is significantly better now, and like old heads that just won't admit that, it's weird. Like
yeah,
why can't you admit that people progress over time? Like obviously there's so much more money in the NBA, people are going to dedicate all their time to it now instead of like people coming off their second shift and only being able to practice after five. Like
yeah. I see both sides of it. It's always hard to talk about the old eras though. But like I would say if JJ Redick like was born in the 30s or whatever and played in like the 50s and 60s, he probably wouldn't have been very good. Like it was the fact that JJ Redick was born in the 80s and like grinded basketball and got really good at shooting. Like he wouldn't have done that for basketball if he was born back then. So I mean, I see both sides of it. Jerry West, I mean, it's fair to bring up careers, I guess, but like I don't think JJ Redick was saying like Jerry West had a bad career. Like it was just kind of like personal. Like JJ Redick was speaking facts. Like people literally couldn't play full time basketball back then, so they weren't as skilled. And the
Yeah.
game's gonna continue getting better. But then also JJ Redick, if he was born later than he was, he would have been even better in my opinion, because like he would be allowed to shoot like 15 threes a game.
Yeah, like JJ Redick, if he came into the NBA in, I don't know, 2015 or 2018, he would be similar to like what, well, not anymore, but like what Joe Harris was before
Yeah,
he had these last 2 years when Joe Harris was like one of the most coveted free agents in all of free agency 2 years ago. So it's like
yeah,
I mean, it's just an era thing. And I think like when you argue eras and stuff like that, when people are like, "Oh, if LeBron played back then, he would have dominated." I mean, honestly, LeBron would have
yeah.
like,
There's some guys that would dominate every era.
yeah, like LeBron's just too big. There's no one who would have been able to stop him. But like when people are like, "If MJ played in this era, he wouldn't have been able to score." Like, no, if MJ played in this era, he would have like been a different player. Like probably would have shot a lot more threes. I mean, he still would have been able to dunk and everything, but his play style probably wouldn't have been around like slashing and like post up scoring. He probably would have been like a 3 point shooting like ball handler in this era if he grew up in this time. So it's like impossible to compare eras like that.
Yeah, I agree. He low key, like I'm not comparing these two, but he low key, I feel like would have had a game like Kawhi.
Mm,
Like I'm not even saying Kawhi's like MJ, but they just like they move very similarly. Obviously, Kawhi's like I think a little taller and and like bigger, just dimension wise. But I
Yeah.
feel like they have a lot of similar like moves and like tempo when they play.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, MJ was like a lockdown defender too, but like the one thing that like I think Kawhi is top 3 in the NBA right now. I'm a big Kawhi supporter, but the one thing that I think is really weird about Kawhi is like if you watch him play, he like kind of runs flat-footed, and I can't figure out why he does that. Like he's not slow though. He's fast, but like you you just look at him and you're like, there's something like weird about the way he moves. He doesn't move
He
like
never
how
goes. He never goes to his final gear. He's always. You're like, oh, he
yeah,
could go a little faster. You're like, oh, he's not gonna.
yeah, like it's like he stops himself at like 80% every time on purpose. And maybe it's because like he's had an injury history or whatever, but I think even when he was like in his younger years, he was playing like that too. I don't know why he does that, but it works, so why fix it, I guess.
Yeah, I feel that. Um. Okay, next topic. This one's actually kind of sad. Brittany Griner got 9 years in Russian prison. I don't know, like, yeah, I guess it's final that she has 9 years. I guess the only way she would get out is if like the U.S. government somehow stepped in and like got her extradited from the country. But I don't really know. Like once you're like an actual prisoner, I don't think we can really do that. Like after the case was or like the court case and everything is finalized, like unless we like it would have to be a crazy deal because it's an actual prisoner now. So like I don't
Yeah.
really know what to do, but that's just like really sad. I saw a video of her like crying and apologizing to like her wife and her daughter that they have together and all that. It was just a very sad situation.
Yeah, like I was talking about this with my girlfriend and she was saying that like she's studying law. So she was saying that the lawyers there are trying to get a I don't know if it's a retrial or they're appealing the verdict, but they're trying to essentially get Brittany Griner less time or get her off. So there it might not end up being actually 9 years, but I mean, given the relations between Russia and the US, and like we've shown that we actually care about Brittany Griner, like at this point, she's almost a prisoner of war, which is really sad because she was just living there and playing basketball. But
Yeah,
like, it's a really bad situation for her.
yeah, agreed. Prayers up for Brittany Griner. I hope she gets out of there.
Hmm.
Um, Next there was a video of Bronny and Bryce that like went viral, and I saw it way too often for the type of video that it was. Like it was on my Twitter, and I would see like 10 videos of it. Then I go to Instagram, and I'd see like 10 videos, every sports account posting it. Then I be on TikTok, and I'm just like, it's not that cool of a video. Like LeBron literally plays on the Lakers and is a billionaire. Yes, like it's really cool that he's hanging out with his sons and working out with them. I think the only reason the video went viral like it did is because Bryce is 6'6" now and he grew a foot and everyone's like, "Wait, that's Bryce?" Bryce was like kind of chubby short kid who did like TikTok dances literally last summer and now he's built like me now and he's like dunking and like pull up game. I think that's literally the only reason because I'm like, this is not an amazing video. Like, it's cool they're working out, but I've seen him shoot before.
Yeah, like I've seen so many like edits of like Bronny and Bryce and how they were showing Bryce was like 5'6" like 2 years ago or
Yeah,
last year and now he's 6'6" and I'm like I mean I think Bryce like obviously he's what like 14, 13 years old or
yeah.
something like
I'll
he's
look it
really
up.
young but like he's I saw some highlights of him and he looks like he has actual good fundamentals like he looks really good like obviously Bronny is good now but like Bryce being that big and that good at his age, like I don't think Bronny was as good as Bryce is at Bryce's age. So like
Yeah,
I think Bryce is the one.
yeah. Bryce. I just looked. He turned 15 in June, so he's a young
Okay.
15,
Yeah.
and he's definitely gonna have to grow into his body too still, and like he's already kind of athletic but like hasn't like put on those muscles like to be like the
Yeah.
foundation of his 6'6" build yet because he literally grew a foot in the past year, like literally 5'6" last summer.
But
But
even looking at like Braun's kids, if you look at Braun when he was 15, like LeBron's an alien or something. Like
that's
that
why
guy
they
was
call him a freak. He shouldn't have been what he was.
yeah, like LeBron was 15 and he was like a solid like 6'6", like 220. And he wasn't like the like 15-year-old 220. He was like a man 220. I was like
Yeah.
looking at pictures of him. I was like, how did this even happen? Like, what was LeBron?
Bro, and I love there's all these conspiracies where people are like, oh, his dad was like Wilt Chamberlain or something, like because he was like played a game in Cleveland like the year LeBron was born or something. And I'm like, bro, you can literally Google who LeBron's dad is. Like it's public
Yeah,
knowledge.
like Bron knows his dad. He just doesn't talk to
Yeah,
him.
he just wasn't there for him, so he's not like
Yeah.
in his life. But like people are like, it
My
must have been
favorite
him.
My favorite ones of those, like, "Oh, this is this person's dad," are the photoshopped one of Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan, because like, it's clearly not, like, he's clearly not Michael Jordan's son, but it's just so funny to
They're
me, I
like,
love
bro, did you know that like he kind of looks a little similar and they played the same sport? It's like,
it. They're,
wow.
like, kinda the same position, almost the same height, like, might be
Wait,
good.
maybe it is. But yeah, that video is just too viral for what it had to offer. Like, I bet
Yeah.
they work out in the Lakers facility all the time. They just
Oh,
allowed
easily.
press in this time or something. I don't know. Um, Next segment, we're going to move on to embrace debate. I just have like one topic that I think would be interesting to debate, and it is who is better, Kevin Durant at using Twitter or LeBron at using Instagram captions?
Mm.
You
This
know,
is like I didn't read this till like a couple. I think you mentioned it like in our group chat a couple like last week or something, but
uh,
I didn't remember that till right now, and I was thinking about this up until this moment.
yeah,
So this is actually a really hard one because LeBron is like his Instagram captions are like so they're like almost satire of themselves at this point. Like it's so cheesy, and Braun knows it's cheesy, and he like ups it every
it's
time.
so funny every time too.
Yeah, and it's so good. But KD, like he the thing is like KD is almost satire of himself at this point too, but it's because like everyone caught him like doing that tweet on that was meant to be on his burner on his real
Yeah,
account 4 years ago. So now he just doesn't even have a burner. Almost like and I think his feuds with like Skip Bayless and like other like reporters is so
yeah.
good. I'm gonna have to give it to KD.
Okay, I respect that. I think KD's is definitely like real and like more effortless. Like he's just like I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna talk trash because I'm not gonna let y'all sit here and trash me on social media. Most players are like I don't have time for that, but the fact that he genuinely enjoys that or like gets a kick out of it is actually really funny.
Yeah.
Um, I just love LeBron's captions so much. It'll just be like, I love the hashtags that he puts at the end of them. It'll be like, hashtag just a kid from Akron, hashtag strive for greatness, hashtag not supposed to be here, hashtag, and then like four things about the photo, like hashtag father and son, hashtag dunking. I'm like, bro, what are you trying to get more views on your, like, he doesn't hashtag for, to get a post trending. He hashtags because he like thinks it's how you finish a sentence now.
Yeah.
It's
And the
so
thing,
funny.
like, one of the things that I think is really funny about LeBron is like how he always says, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm not supposed to be here. But like this man is 6'9", 250 with like a 45-inch vertical. Like, where else are you supposed to be?
I have
Like,
not seen someone built like that. Not in the NBA. I don't think.
yeah, like the closest thing I can think is like maybe Jadavion Clowney or
But that
something, or
guy's
like
like the
Cam
best
Newton.
NFL player, so what, he
Yeah,
would have
like
just said the
Cam
same
Newton.
thing then too.
Yeah, and those guys, like, they're like you could obviously you could be anything. Like he could have gone and been like a real estate agent or whatever he wanted, but like this is like for his size, this is where he's supposed to be. Like, where else is he supposed to be?
Bro, he's not supposed to be here, bro.
Facts, facts.
He should have been like a professor, bro, because he's always like reading books at the end of
Mm,
games and stuff.
that's true. Like he's low key getting like to the front cover of books.
That's the best thing because it's such like exactly what we were like in school when we didn't read the book, and the teacher's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, like tell me about this," and we're like, "What'd you like about this chapter?" Really, all of it. The whole thing is just it's just amazing. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, you
that
definitely
is
read it.
That interview was so funny. Like you could so clearly tell he didn't read it, and he was
Yeah.
like, they're actually calling me out on this.
He's like, my teachers didn't care in high school. He was
And
apparently a straight A student in high school, but like,
yeah, and like the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure that was during like the BLM protests when like the police brutality stuff was like going on, the
oh
George Floyd,
yeah,
and like it was a Malcolm X book.
yeah.
So he was like he was reading it to like get more exposure for that. But someone asked him and he was like, oh man, like
I didn't think y'all were gonna ask that one.
Malcolm X is raw, but like the book. The book.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It just that's an all-time interview. Well, he had an interview a long time ago, and he was like trying to say a sentence, and he kept getting tongue twisted. And he's like, "Whatever, I don't know. I didn't go to college." And I was like,
I remember
"Guys,
that.
this
That
guy's
was so
funny."
good.
But anyway, that's all I got for Embrace Debate. I got LeBron on the IG caption just because they genuinely make me just laugh every time. Like I don't even care about his posts. I go straight to the captions when he posts.
I guess I just use Twitter so much that like Kevin Durant brings spice to my timeline.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of beef, a lot of drama. It's like I mean, I talked about this like with my girlfriend a bunch, and I feel like the actual game of sports obviously is just like feats of extreme athleticism and it's fun to watch. But like the culture surrounding sports, it's like reality TV for men. And I
Yeah.
love it. I eat it up.
Yeah. I that's why I love that players have more power now because like it adds so much drama instead of just
Yeah.
franchises talking to each other behind closed doors and like making deals. Like
Mhm.
we got a lot of drama now. I want to
Yeah.
move on to this next segment called Yeet Culture. This is a segment where we effectively cancel a person or a single thing just because I just see something they do and it kind of pisses me off. So this week I'm gonna bring up Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith, you're probably like, why Stephen A. Smith? I haven't heard from him in a while. This is because about a month ago, Stephen A. Smith tweeted, "Appreciate the love I've been receiving from everyone who's missed me on First Take. I'm out because I'm rehabbing from a shoulder surgery. Partial tear, rotator cuff, and bicep, along with frayed labrum plus a bone spur. Aging sucks, but it is what it is. I'll be back in a month. Hashtag all love." Stephen A. Smith is out. He's like reporting an injury report, and he literally does what I'm doing right now. He talks into a microphone. For a month, he's gonna be out. He could 100% talk. Is he sitting in silence in his home?
Did not see that. That is like what? First of all, what was he doing? Like, how did he injure all of that? He tore his
I don't
labrum. He
know.
had bone spurs in his arm. Like, what's going on?
How to not like a lot of those don't relate.
Yeah, like what did he like fall on his shoulder and then like just shat like just
Like he
like
partially tore his rotator cuff and his bicep. That's crazy.
yeah, like was that at the same time or was
I
it
don't
different?
know, but like the fact that he would like tweet like this, like, "Oh, thanks for all the love. Like I'm gonna do my best to recover," and like I'm out for a month, when he literally goes at Ben Simmons for not playing every time like Ben Simmons comes up. I'm like, yeah, Ben Simmons should be playing. I agree, but like you literally sit in a chair and talk. Like you 100% can be doing your job. So now you can't go after Ben Simmons for not playing in an NBA game when you literally are out because you hurt your shoulder. Like that doesn't make sense at all.
Like how is that a 6 week injury? Like
I don't
your
know.
job doesn't involve your shoulder.
I don't know. I was just so mad. I was like, bro, so we can't like. People were like, "Oh yeah, like hope Stephen A gets better." I'm like, "What are you talking about? He's gonna be fine. He got a shoulder surgery. He's old. Like that happens. He can."
Yeah.
People go to their normal jobs and have shoulder surgeries. This man literally just needs to sit in a chair with a sling on, and he'll be all right. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like he was probably like snowboarding or something, or just doing something he definitely shouldn't be doing.
I feel like at
Stephen
that
A.
age he could do it kind of like just through basketball. Like he went up for a rebound, someone like caught his arm and it went back or something. I don't know.
like, I mean, I know this isn't young, but he's only 54. Like, I don't think like both of our dads are older than 54, and I don't think they're getting that type of injury
Our
from just
dads are
playing.
in really good shape though.
Yeah,
Like
that's
my
true.
dad's 62 and he teaches tennis like literally 6 to 8 hours a day, like on his
Yeah,
feet, being active. Your dad works out mad hard all the
yeah,
time, like
yeah. I guess
every
that's
day.
true. I don't think Stephen A. ever actually.
I feel like I saw Stephen A do something athletic once, like try to do something athletic, and it's not a pretty sight. He's like one of the
Yeah,
people that you're just like, oh, that guy doesn't have an athletic bone in his body.
yeah, it's not good. There was one, oh, I think it was Max Kellerman. I saw him shoot a shot once, like basketball, and I don't remember if it was him, but he has the ugliest shot I've ever seen. Like it's bad. Let me see. Was it Max Kellerman? Oh yeah, it
He
was.
shoots like he shoots like if I brought a girl that I'm talking to a basketball court and like asked her to try to shoot a basketball. That's how he shoots,
Yeah,
and
like
she's never
he.
shot before. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I want.
he was a big boxing guy.
I didn't know he was a boxing guy. He
Yeah.
should cover some Jake Paul stuff. Apparently, him and KSI are feuding over like they're canceling a fight. I didn't even know they had a fight
Well,
scheduled.
Jake Paul was supposed to fight like Tommy Fury, which is Tyson Fury's little brother. Tommy Fury pulled out for a second time, so I think that's just not happening. And then he was supposed to fight this other guy. That's not happening. And now he's supposed to fight KSI. And did it get canceled? I don't know.
I saw there was some like I think so. I think KSI like pulled out because I don't know the contract or something. I don't know what's going on. I saw it like maybe 5 minutes before we started this, so I didn't get to look into
I
it that
saw
much.
that too. I think they might be fighting. They might be like marketing it, so like trying
Yeah,
to just get mad at each other and say stuff.
Jake Paul is good at that. I will like I think I've watched one of his fights. I watched the fight.
Nate Robinson.
Yeah, the Nate Robinson fight. That's the one I
That was the
saw.
best one. Bro, I sometimes go back and watch it because I just can't believe how hard this NBA athlete, not like saying he shouldn't have gotten knocked out, but just the fact that his career went from like a good guard in the NBA to just literally getting slammed by like just the poster child for hate in a boxing ring. Like how'd you go from there to there, man?
Yeah, it's a big downfall for him. I think he should have like capitalized off it more. But I mean, maybe he just made so much money in the NBA he doesn't care. But like, I think he could have made an actual boxing career off of it because
I don't.
I'm pretty sure.
He looked
Oh,
terrible.
I mean, but I don't know. I think he could have trained. Maybe he just doesn't want to fight anymore. I don't want to fight
But think
anyone. So
about this: people are like, Jake Paul's not a very good fighter, and he literally knocked Nate. Like Nate looked like a child fighting him, not just because of his size, but like his fighting technique.
yeah.
And what is he, 30 something? Like I think he needs to not be in the boxing ring.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I forgot about that. I for some reason I just like I didn't connect the dots that it was actual Nate Robinson. I thought it was like someone around Jake Paul's age, but like yeah, Nate Robinson's like probably 35 or something now. He probably
Yeah.
should start.
Yeah, how old is Nate Robinson? That was like one of my favorite dunk contests ever. I might have liked that one more than the Zach Levine one was when like Superman versus Kryptonite.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but Nate Robinson was trying to do this dunk where he jumps like from half court and like double between the legs and throws it and then like off the backboard and then like catches it and dunks it or something. And he missed the toss like 30 times in a row. I think it was the year where they like didn't have a time limit. You just had to
Yeah.
complete a dunk. And I was
Yeah.
just like, this is terrible. And then like he ended up winning or something. I was like, bro, you can't take 30 tries and think we still care if you make the dunk now.
Yeah, like at that point, I mean, if I was a judge, I'd give him like a 4 at max. I'd be like, dude, you have too many tries. Like you gotta give it
Yeah.
up.
He's 38 by the way.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't start a boxing.
All right, that's all I got for the Yeet culture. That was really just about Stephen A. Smith, supposedly. But what you got for the Haters Corner this week? The Haters Corner is a segment that VVS does where he just does what he does best, which is expose people, things, places, and give them their well-deserved hate.
So today on the Haters Corner, welcome by the way, the Haters Corner, where we believe that if you don't have any hate, you're probably doing something wrong. There always is a hater for everyone, and if no one has a hater, I'm gonna be that one. So today, on the haters corner, well, this was actually like last week, but I'm still using this one because it is D'Angelo Russell. I don't know if you saw his tweet, but he made a tweet like last week, and he said in the NBA. Well, let me pull up the tweet actually. D'Angelo Russell said something along the lines of, "In the NBA, there are a lot of athletes, but not a lot of basketball players." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I think D'Angelo Russell, because first of all, he's on the team with Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards is probably the best young, well, unless you consider like Zion Williamson, but the best young like athlete, more athletic than basketball player in the league right now. I think he's getting to the point where he's like evened out at this next year. He probably will, but like Anthony Edwards is probably one of the best young like super athlete players in the league, and he's on the same team as D'Angelo Russell. So D'Angelo Russell's tweeting this, and I think honestly, it's a little bit of bitterness from D'Angelo Russell because he was never that athletic. Like he's obviously NBA point guard, you got to be athletic, but in terms of NBA point guard, like he was probably like lower third of the league in terms of athleticism. So I think he's like trying to get back and be like, oh, the reason I was never that guy is because like everyone values athleticism now. No one's about the fundamentals. No one's about like ball handling and dribble skills and this and that. And I'm like, yo, you are a glorified trade piece in the NBA. Let's be honest. Like this dude has been traded like 4 times, and every time the team that traded him has considered the winner of the trade. Like every time,
Yeah.
everyone thinks that the team that trades away D'Angelo Russell comes out better. And he is also probably the worst of the Kendall Jenner roster. Like the worst addition of the roster. Out of all the players on the Kendall Jenner dream team, he's the worst. So like he's
Yeah.
not winning in any way other than his, I mean, he's getting paid a lot of money, honestly. I'd trade places with him in terms of financial situation, but that dude is not winning. He does not deserve to rag on these super athletic GOAT players because you're just not popping off anymore. Like
Yeah, that is kind of weird to say too. Like the idea that players make the NBA just based on athleticism is ridiculous. Like obviously there's players that are super athletic that wouldn't be there if they weren't super athletic, but like they have to be good at basketball too, right? Like that's the difference in I think college and NBA. Like in college you can get an offer cuz like you were banging on people like one AU tournament and then you got like D1, but like to get to the NBA you have to be good at something. You either have to be like good at a lot of things or like amazing at one thing. And like that's just a weird thing to say that. I wonder who he was actually targeting. And if it was Anthony Edwards is low key better than D'Lo at everything. So
better shooter. Maybe I don't know. I feel like yeah, I think he's probably a better
bro,
ball
Anthony
handler.
Edwards is better at like everything than D'Angelo Russell. I don't even
Like
care about ball handling, bro. What are we talking about? Like you
yeah,
can do
like I
cooler
think
moves. I don't even want that.
I think Anthony Edwards is gonna be like I don't know about the best player in the league, but I think in 2, 3 years he's top five. Like he is so good, and he's got that mentality that if he like he's going to shoot. It doesn't matter if they're going in, he's gonna shoot. And for some players that's not good, but for players like Anthony Edwards, that's like the mentality you need. I think Anthony Edwards is better than Carl Anthony Towns right now. Like I think he's the heart and soul of that team. I think Carl Anthony Towns is like following Anthony Edwards' lead.
Yeah. I think that if the Timberwolves don't like get a top 4 seed or top 6 seed because they're in the West and it's just a tough conference. If they don't get a top 6 seed this year, then it's just like I think your team just will never be good. Your organization will never be good because they have so many good players.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to see him play with Jimmy Butler because I feel like they're both like alpha dogs that just want to win and will do anything and they'll talk a lot of trash and like be jerks to their teammates and the other team. And I want them to play together so
Yeah.
bad, but I just don't feel like they ever will. I mean, the Heat could definitely trade for him. Like they have pieces that would make sense for them, but I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Timberwolves kind of jumped the gun because they're the team that traded for Rudy Gobert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they kind of jumped the gun on that. Like, I don't think I think it's too early in Anthony Edwards' career to like make a move that big because I don't think that while Rudy Gobert is still at the top of his game, Anthony Edwards is going to mature into the player that he will be. Like, I don't think those timelines are going to add up. And maybe they just think that Cat is good enough to like take them to that championship level right now, but I don't. I think Cat's just like I think Cat's a great shooter. I think he's good at a lot of things, but I don't think he's like I don't think he makes your team that much better, weirdly. Like I think he's very good at stuff, but I don't think he like raises a team ceiling.
Yeah, I think it's Cat's mentality that holds
Yeah.
him back. Like his mentality going after the game. Like when he's in the game, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna just like let it come to me." But like when you're the size of him and the skill set of him, you just gotta like get the ball and go, like Joel does. Joel don't let anything come to him. This man is just shooting and attacking all the time, and I feel like Cat isn't like I'm gonna back you. Like he doesn't have many plays where he's I'm gonna back you down and I'm gonna like throw it down your throat, like literally. And he
Yeah.
just doesn't seem like he really wants to do that. Very skilled though, but I agree what you're saying. Like to win a championship, you have to have like a transcendent player on your team
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, and I think Anthony Edwards will be that player, but I don't think it's going to happen within the next like 2 years where Gobert is still at the top of his game. Like I think they're going to get to the point where Gobert is declining, and then Anthony Edwards is like at the point where he can carry a team, and then it'll be like now you just have all this dead cap from Gobert. So I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly think that I mean, it's hard to say. I think they should be really good next year, though. Like,
Yeah,
I think a Western Conference Finals appearance would be like a huge win for them. Like, they don't even got to win a finals. Like, if they do that, then they can be like, all right, we're knocking on the door. Not like we're crying when we won the play-in game because it was the most amazing thing of all time. I do think back though, Minnesota's never won anything as a state, so like, I can't blame them for being that happy. Honestly, like they don't ever win anything, and they won a
yeah,
big game, and it was like against a trash talking team. So I'm like, okay, celebrate whatever, but like you're gonna get smacked next
yeah.
series.
Actually, now thinking about it again from the perspective that they're Minnesota, like
Yeah,
maybe this is like the best thing they could have done because, like, realistically, is Anthony Edwards going to stay there after his rookie deal? Like, maybe, but who knows? Like, maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he likes Minnesota and maybe he's going to do the Giannis thing and just stay there forever. But like, realistically speaking, it's the odds aren't high.
yeah.
Like,
Um, they got Kyle Anderson too. They just I don't like the three guys. I don't like D'Lo, Cat, and I don't like Gobert very much. I just don't like. I think I don't like Gobert's personality very much. I just think he's like I don't know. He's like gonna pout and stuff. And like if you're gonna
yeah,
be a defensive stopper, big man, you just have to just go out there and just block shots and rebound. I feel like because normally you'll see like the offensive bigs like complain about not getting enough touches, and like yeah, that's fine. Like Joel Embiid should complain about not getting enough touches if he's not getting enough touches. But
yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like Gobert like thinks he can do things on offense sometimes, and I don't really think that that's a good option ever.
Yeah, like Gobert should get most of his offense from just being the roll man and putbacks. Like
Yeah,
that should be his offense. I don't think he should be a focal point at any point. And I think on the Timberwolves roster that they will give him the opportunity for that. But I do agree Gobert seems like a weird guy. Like everything that I've seen from like his interviews, his press conferences, he just seems kind of weird. Like
yeah,
and honestly, Cat seems a little weird too, so maybe that'll work out. And
yeah,
D'Lo's kind of weird too, and maybe Anthony Edwards is the only like cool person that we got.
yeah. Yeah, he's gonna want to leave Minnesota now that you just broke it down like that.
Oh wait, they got Canderson though. Canderson is the glue. The Grizzlies, they're gonna be hurting without that boy. I'm telling you.
I mean, he is good. They have. I was listening to a Pardon My Take episode, and this like huge Minnesota fan. He's like a celebrity, but huge Minnesota fan was talking about him, and he was saying this that he doesn't think he'll start. Like a different this other wing would start over him that they got. I can't
Yeah, I
remember
mean, Kyle
who.
Anderson, I don't think he's like he's not a 35 minute per night guy, but like I think he's a really good as a role player because he's a good shooter. He's plays good defense and he like does all the stuff that you want your non-star players to do. Like he allows stars to be really good. So I think he's a good player and he's super slow and has a really ridiculous moveset. So that's why I like him as well.
Yeah, slowest release. I'm not sure there will ever be a slower release that like does well in the NBA. But shout out to him for pulling it off somehow. We're probably not gonna do a draft this week. We'll just do a draft like whenever Casey and Ant are back because it would just be like us just saying things. Because like it's not like we wouldn't. Well, I don't even think we'd be able to take each other's picks. Like it would just be like back and forth. So we'll do that another time.
Yeah, and I think this draft will be a good one when we get Casey on it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're gonna do worst pickup basketball teammate types. So it's gonna be really I got pretty creative with this one with my picks that I'm gonna take. So I think it's gonna be really funny though.
Yeah, I have some good ones too. So next week, well, maybe Casey won't be here next week, but I think Ant will, right? Or who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, thank y'all for watching and listening. The Third Quarter Warriors are the best team ever. We're the best podcast ever. New episodes every Monday, unless we can't record for a weekend. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Third Quarter Warriors.
Yes,
Peace.
Sir. Welcome to the third quarter, everybody.
What is this? What is going on right now?
I said, what the hell are you talking about?
What's my package look like? Yo!